Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. The slant.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version. All right, Power, let's go. All right, listen, y'all. Just go ahead and let the guest play. Come on, jeez. That's better. Where'd I go?
If you had told me that today, where probably the biggest film for Latinos in Hollywood is opening, the biggest film starring, written, featuring, studio back driven film is debuting across the nation. If you had told me that In the Heights was the brown savior of Latino films, the great brown hype, the breakthrough in Hollywood, man, if you had told me that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I would be ecstatic this morning. Ecstatic. Why am I not? Why am I not? Because I know how Hollywood treats Latinos. Now, will I go and see it? Yes. Will I go pay for it? Absolutely. Will I review it? You best believe we're going to review it here on The Slant. In fact, we have other now contributors, T-shirted historian, RC from the NYC, cold-blooded critic, starting to venture out, review stuff for us, Mayans MC, In the Heights. Now, let me just say this. In the Heights will become the biggest grossing Latino film of all time. Technically, what was before it, right? La Bamba? We could say, yeah, because La Bamba was written and directed by a Chicano. And it was an incredible film starring Lou Diamond Phillips, and we'll get to Lou Diamond and Medi Almost in a second. Yes, we will. In the Heights was directed by Chu, I believe, or Chi. Forgive me for his last name. They got the best director for this project. Blood In, Blood Out was not directed by a Chicano, Taylor Hackford. Blood In, Blood Out didn't necessarily make money in its first run. It's a cult hit now. La Bamba, adjusted for inflation and all that good stuff, that's number one. Dora the Explorer, maybe. But you best believe In the Heights is going to blow them away. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the Latino Slant. Little rant, little thunder rant. As Mexican Iron Man says, a little thunder slant. There's a lot going on. And, you know, these issues that I'm going to talk about, I cannot talk freely about these how I want to without having to explain myself in exhaustion on Midnight's Edge. So that's why I'm not on Midnight's Edge right now. I love my brothers on Midnight's Edge, but, you know, they're not going to talk about these topics. I got to talk about these topics on my channel right now because this is a big weekend, a big morning news day in Latino Hollywood. So forgive me. I don't mean to pull anyone away. You can go and watch Midnight's Edge. You can stay. It's all love, right? There is no competition. I just felt impelled. I'm impelled. The Chicano in me is impelled to rant right now. And my perspective, my thought on this is that as a Chicano, I don't have to explain myself to anyone. This is my first cup. This is it. This is the first one. I had a very good morning. Woke up, got some good sleep, put the weights on, walked the dog with my hand weights, and got some great sun. I'm ready for tonight and the weekend. Great. I'm glad you guys are with me. I will get to you guys in a minute. So here's what we're going to cover. All right. The breakthrough of In the Heights, a new animated series on Netflix, and Netflix is getting some shit from a writer of one of their biggest television shows. Remember what I said? How Hollywood really treats Latinos. Okay, here's the good. And this little car, my dad gave me this little car. Yee, that's badass. Here's the good. And there's a lot of good. There's actually a lot of good, okay? Yesterday, Stand and Deliver on Midnight's Edge, reunion panel. We raised thousands. I'm going to match it at a certain point, and I want to present to the Los Angeles Theater Center, which is the epicenter of a lot of great Latino work and a lot of great Latino actors that get to work. We will present that in the future. We will record it. We'll let you know exactly how much money we're giving to them. Everything's transparent. Fantastic day yesterday. A brilliant day. Lou Diamond Phillips and Edward James Olmos. And as elated as I was with that, even with Stand and Deliver, what a well-crafted film, I cannot think but how that movie would be made today and how upside down Hollywood would make it. And that's the thing. Every success, even within the Heights and the great Lin-Manuel Miranda, every success that Latinos have enjoyed in Hollywood have come out of Hollywood, have started out of Hollywood. Independent film, out of Hollywood. Robert Rodriguez, out of Hollywood. Stand and Deliver. You heard the stories of what they did to make that film happen, to make it a reality. Watch it now. Watch how brilliant that film is. You best believe it would be upside down. I mean, it's a joke, right? It's really a joke as far as how they would make that film. Now, let's move on to what Mr. Olmos had said about In the Heights, and what a lot of people are saying about In the Heights as being so important that to where 5 years from now, there'll be 10 Latino movies a year being made. And I say there already are, but I know what you're saying. You're saying Hollywood-backed studio films. Today, all I can say is I'm not excited about that. Judging from the way they treat our legends, our heroes, our cartoons of our childhood, that is not necessarily a good thing. There's inspired casting, then there's just virtue signaling, race swapping to please their guilt, I guess. Inspired casting. Tenoch Huerta as Neymar. Inspired. I am inspired by that. That is great out of the box thinking. He's a fantastic actor. I mean, he's a brilliant actor. Does he look like Namor? Hell no. But he can pull it off. Are there other actors that look like Namor out there? Yes. Have I seen them act? Yes. Can they act? No. When you have an action actor, martial arts actor that looks the part, walks the walk, and you hear him talk, and he sounds like this, I'm going to go beat up those guys right now because I have muscles and I can do karate. And you're telling me that's who you want as Namor? Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Now, on the bad side, shit doesn't change. And I thank God for people who are still ignorant and can throw racist tones at this casting. Good for you guys. Where you say, I didn't know Mexicans are good swimmers. Good for you for posting that. Good for you. I hope you really prove your point that Mexicans don't know how to swim. It's the Latin Namor. Good on you, buddy. I like knowing where people stand. I love knowing where people stand. It helps me out. It empowers me. It enriches me. I get to go to the next level. Because I'm a Zen mofo, especially with my own life, right? And how it's transpired, the good, the bad, the ugly, the highs and lows, just like you guys. But you tell me where you're coming from on that tip, buddy. You're lucky I'm not putting your tweets and your comments on blast. I would never do that to you. Oh no. But if you're watching, and if you're gonna watch, cool. You know who you are. You know who you are. And here's the thing, guys. I grew up with this since day one. But I'm not a target. I'm not a victim, right? I'm not perfect. Who the frick do I think I am? I'm just a Chicano kid, right? From LA. Point is, you throw that ignorance, that racism out there, from telling someone to go back to where they came from to this other bullshit about this wonderful actor, Tenoch Huerta. All you can come up with is that, buddy. Edward James Olmos was quoted in an article recently talking about the importance of In the Heights. I agree, senor. Completely agree. He, in fact, said that this was the first time in many years that he couldn't watch the Academy Awards because what was the word that he used? He was, I don't know. I don't want to paraphrase, but he was demoralized by it. And what he hopes for with this movie is an age where there's a Tyler Perry building the studios. We have our television shows. We have this. We have that. And Mr. Olmos, with all due respect, we already do. His name is Robert Rodriguez. Troublemaker Studios, El Rey Network. He's been doing what we have been talking about for decades. He is the model. He's the model, whether you like his films or not, like his television shows or where they're coming from. Maybe it's not Latinx enough for you. That's the model. Go make that model. So I agree as far as the blueprint for success, right? But what is that blueprint, guys? What is that blueprint? That blueprint is getting out of Hollywood. What do you think Rodriguez has mastered in his whole career? He don't give a frig about Hollywood. He works with Hollywood. Yeah, of course. He knows all the players and he's got the partners and got the stuff, but he is physically away from it. Troublemakers, Austin, Texas. right? So, on a side note, with that mentality, with that maverick attitude, that is the only reason why I have a glimmer of hope for the Book of Boba Fett. That is another story. But why hasn't Rodriguez and his blueprint gotten the recognition to where we say these things? Even Mr. Olmos, with all due respect, you're saying these things and they would exist. Why hasn't he gotten the recognition that he deserves? It's very strange. And another thing, why hasn't the musical from 1981, and it is a film, it's a low budget film, but you best believe it's a musical called Zoot Suit, written directed by Luis Valdez. Zoot Suit, the musical. Why hasn't that gotten recognition as well as being the first? Everyone's saying it's In the Heights. It's not In the Heights. In the Heights is a landmark. Best believe it is a landmark. But maybe the Latinx Hollywood gatekeepers are excluding the Rodriguez blueprint, the Luis Valdez's work of the 80s and the 90s, the blood in, blood out, right? Think about that work. Maybe they're excluding it because they're embarrassed by it, because they don't want that to represent them. I'm clearly theorizing here. I'm clearly thunder slanting. Okay. I'm going to read some of your comments and say hello, and then we're going to get to a couple of stories. And this is going to be, there's some good stories, guys. So with that being said, I do want to say, please do check out In the Heights. I will be doing a on the road review this weekend. I'm going out of town, but I will watch that. Glogo, you are a new member. Welcome. I thought you were a member before. Maybe you upgraded. I will check it out. Welcome, buddy. Welcome back. We do have, speaking of members, we have Bud Boys here. That 70s show. It's Courtney. Big Steve is here. Mexican Iron Man. The man, Mexican Iron Man. Krusty Moco. Oh yeah, we letting it out. We're letting it out. It's good to have all you guys here. It's good to see you guys. Let me see what Wookiee Lives Matter says. The idea that I could pay to get Polly to sing death metal has a very Vegas. Oh my god, I might do it. I might go broke feel to it. I had to stay away. That's funny. That's funny. We're talking about the karaoke show tonight. Polly, what's up, everyone? Hope everyone had a great Friday. We're having a great Friday, Nikki. There's a lot of great things we're talking about this morning. Got the notification late. Well, I only set this show up a half an hour before going live, so notifications are very strange. And Glogo for $5, man. Hey, Polly, I'm glad I was able to help in the ways that I could. It was a highlight for me. I feel that you with modern Hollywood hope one day it is better. Yeah, man. We hope so too, right? The reunion talk was really enjoyed it. Love hearing the hard work that everyone put into that movie, Bud Boy. Yeah, that was a great time yesterday. That was a great time. What? Mexicans are known for swimming among race. You know, you think you can come up with some better racist comments, you know? Good morning, Dave Bob. Dave Bob's got your song tonight, brother. We got your song tonight. Bud Boy, mainstream media are bought and paid for. Need more independent outlets making their own voices heard to promote. Yes. And you know, I'm glad you said that, because I know some fellow Latino outlets out there, influencers, showing off their swag from the studios on new TV shows. Bought and paid for, baby. Bought and paid for before you even saw the show. Now, I didn't say Hollywood doesn't understand or how to deal with Latinos. I didn't say Hollywood is dumb. Didn't say that. They're very smart. So yes, I and that's the thing, is that I am very excited to see In the Heights. I want to support it. I am a huge fan of Anthony Ramos, the lead actor. In fact, earlier at the beginning of the year, we put him in our top 10 Latino actors to look for of 2021. He is so talented. I cannot look him up, guys. Look up Anthony Ramos. He's got some, besides being an actor, he's got like this great musical career. And it's pretty sexy. It's pretty intense. You should see the videos. They're pretty sensual. I love his R&B music. It's got a lot of soul. So yes, I am excited. Whoa, wait a minute. Has become a new member to the Latino Slant. Muchísimas gracias. And because you and Glogo are members, it's time for a dancing perrito. Vámonos. Eso, muchísimas gracias to our new members and existing members. I mean, I think we're 40 deep. It's amazing. I will make a membership announcement before I get off. We have a special members only concert happening next week. Like so much going on this week. It's not that I've forgotten. Thank God I've booked it, but it's a pretty big deal going on next week. Okay, so let's go to this story, which I'm a fan of. Who has seen the movie The Book of Life by Jorge Gutierrez? Well, he is back and he has got a new series with Netflix. Jorge Gutierrez, the animated series, Jorge Gutierrez and Netflix unwrapped new Maya and the 3 images. Animated series dropping this summer, follows a Mesoamerican warrior princess, and I love this artwork. Oh my God. How cool is this? If you haven't seen Book of Book of Life, get it. Some say it's better than Coco. All right, let's get into the story. Netflix and the Maya 3 creator director Jorge Gutierrez released 2 new images from the upcoming animated limited series. This is just dropped this morning. Inspired by Mesoamerican mythology and its female heroes, the show follows Maya, a Mesoamerican warrior princess who embarks on a journey to fulfill an ancient prophecy, save humanity from vengeful gods of the underworld. Quote, as a lifelong lover of fantasy films from around the world and deeply inspired by the glorious Mesoamerican art and exhibits of the Museo Nacional de Antropología in my hometown of Mexico City, I created Maya as our own fiercely rebellious eagle warrior princess, said Gutierrez. So eagle warrior is a level of Aztec warrior. So he is drawing upon direct Aztec mythology, which I have been shouting from the hilltops for decades for someone to create, because this is basically our Lord of the Rings lore. I mean, you talk about fantasy, you talk about gods. I mean, oh my Lord, these gods are intense in the Aztec mythology and underworld. Our heroine, Jesus, heroine. is lovingly inspired by the real Mexican warrior, women in my life, my mother, my sister, and my eternal muse, my wife, he continued. I cannot wait for audiences of all ages from around the world to join Maya and the 3 on their funny, heart-filled, and epic quest to vanquish the underworld gods to save their magical world. For anyone that loved Gutierrez helmed El Tigre in the Book of Life, you're in for a spicy treat. Maya and the Three, which drops this summer, is a 4.5-hour epic. It will be released in 30-minute episodes. Gutierrez will participate in a session previewing the series next week as part of Annecy International Animated Film Festival. And look at this image, guys. Look at this image. Let me make it a little bigger for you. And I want to say a couple of things about this. I love it. So here, what's up, cold-blooded critic? Yeah. Yes. Okay, so yeah, welcome new members. Thank you, DD. Okay, they're saying Book of Life was great. The artwork for the new show does look great. You like the styling? Yeah, I gotta, I knew you sent me some work of your own. I gotta check it out. Sweet artwork. Slantastic. I need some slant kundo in my life, homie. Slant kundo. Hi. Dave Bob sounded like an illegal drug lord. What the hell are you talking about, Dave Bob? Cabron. Here's why I think this is really important for Hollywood to get it right, if they can get it right. To me, drawing upon our own mythologies that have existed for hundreds of years, if not longer, and to put them in book and film and comic book is the way to go, as opposed to let's make the Lord of the Rings Aztec. Let's make the Game of Thrones book 4, whatever. You know where I'm getting at. You don't need to update, or you don't need to reimagine shit. Reimagine using existing lore that really exists. Reimagine that, Hollywood. In fact, hire me, and I will make sure you get it right. In all reality, there's some fine people out there that are doing a great job who I think you should hire. And I want to say I got a lot of these stories today from the great cartoonist Lalo Alcaraz, who I don't always agree with politically, but homie brings it, and I love his truth. And Jorge Gutierrez is an amazing talent. So congratulations, Jorge. This is big news. Another thing I wanted to say is I love the fact that they tell us it's a 4.5-hour epic, and they're going to break it up into 30-minute pops. I almost would think that that's how these TV shows, if they thought of these TV shows, let me be clear. WandaVision, Falcon, and that's the new one. I just watched it. Loki. If they filmed them as one big long story with all these different twists and turns, and then you break it up and let people know, then, and not like a television show, because the television show, you almost can change your episodes every day, every week, and then one doesn't have anything to do with the other. You can go out of the long story arc. This is the way to go. Make that 4-5 hour long epic, break it up into 30-minute pops. Let your fans know what you're doing. Don't keep them in the dark. Don't pull the wool over their heads and trick them, man, because that's all you're doing with these shows, is that you're tricking us. You're making us think that there's a possibility that this could. You already know the ending, right? And you disappoint us. You do. This, to me, is the way to go. 4.5 hours, break them up into 30-minute pops. Brilliant. Congratulations, Jorge Gutierrez and Maya and the Three. Oh, we got will Maya be woke? Um, I'm gonna. It's not like, okay, probably on a certain level. Right? Got to buffer ourselves for that. Jorge Gutierrez and his past work, pretty spot on. You know, they're Mexicanos. Their outlook is completely different on their own history, their own mythology. So if Netflix doesn't get involved, doesn't meddle creatively, then I would say not so much. Vin Zinger, I hope that helps with I don't know if I'm not here to make you feel better with that answer. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be as honest as possible. We live in a woke era. Hollywood is a woke era where, for better, for worse, Latinx gatekeepers that they have hired dictate a lot of what we are seeing, and they're trying to tell us how to think and all that good stuff. So I don't know what to tell you, bro. I am focusing on the positive, that this got made, and I cannot wait to see it. Then I will be a judge, and I will give my review, and it'll be out. Speaking of, I do have movie reviews from last week. Please check them out if you're looking for something to watch. 3 movies from Latin filmmakers that is out, and that's on the channel. Okay. We got another new member, the Cold-Blooded Critic. You became a member. What? We got like 3 new members. Oh my goodness. Muchísimas gracias. Let's play the dancing dog one more time. Okay, we also got a $10 PayPal super chat from the great Mexican Iron Man. He says Latino slant equals Latino rant equals Slantino thunder dash rant. Compelled or impelled? Look it up. Impelled. I'm impelled, not compelled. Check it out. But thanks for the correction, Mexican Iron Man. Thank you for the $10 there. All right, so I really appreciate you. Let's do a little dance break. And I will get back to your comments, and then we have one more story. So let's do a little dance break here on a special Latino slant. Where's my dance break? There you are. Dance break. This is some great comments from you guys. I love it. Dave Bob Loki's gonna suck. Luffy is God. I agree. You got Maya and Inca Laura make great stories. I like Sand Deliver reunion yesterday. Good job, guys. Thank you. Mexican Iron Man is a tough critic, but I say approved. Yeah. Are you talking about the if we're talking about the Maya, we'll see. Now, someone said something here that was interesting. Yeah, just found out He-Man is gonna be woke. After we got the trailer featuring only He-Man, it's about Tila. But then that trashy horse, and welcome that trashy horse, applying wokeness to the Aztecs would be bizarrely anachronistic. Well, look, a couple things with that. And let's go back. I mean, these are two great comments. I haven't seen the He-Man trailer, but I did see a lot of people from the big boys to, to everyone else saying how much they liked it. Then I guess there was some descriptions that were found out that really the series is about Tila. What did I say earlier, guys? The wool, Hollywood. They're gonna trick you, right? They're gonna trick the old fans into at least checking it out, get the ratings and all that stuff. Here, Gutierrez and with Maya and the three, he's already telling you it's a female princess, Eagle Warrior. I technically don't know if there ever was female Eagle Warriors in Aztec lore. I know with the Toltecs, there was the Queen Xochitl, who for a time she ruled maybe for a few years, and she did have a female-led army. But that was that slice, and then you had everything else. So I'm waiting for someone to actually do a story on Queen Xochitl and her female army, because that was real life. That was she's more legend, kind of like a Ragnar Lothbrok, but there is some documentation of her. Point is, that's a great story. So yeah, they're not. I don't know if they're really getting the Aztec Eagle Warrior. There's different levels too. There's Eagle Knight. There's Eagle Warrior. I've done a lot of research on this, and I can't say that there was ever females. But listen, he's telling you what his show is all about already from the get-go. She's an Eagle Warrior princess. So obviously she's got a dad who's a king. Mom was a queen. She's a warrior. I don't know how you can be royalty and be a warrior at the same time, but they're already telling you what this is all about as far as that animated series. And they're fighting evil gods of the underworld, and that exists. The Aztec underworld is called Mictlan, and there's some great characters in the Aztec underworld, and it's been chronicled as far as, it's fantastic. Trust me, guys. So on that tip, I am excited about that. So I would say, yeah, you gotta watch how tricky Hollywood is, and that's what I'm also trying to tell you about the great brown hype of In the Heights. It's very strange, right? My fear is that they're gonna say, that In the Heights and social and political issues that are to the left of center, that's what Latino films can be about moving forward. We don't want the crime drama films. We don't want the Cholo or the Chicano action films. We don't even want the masculinity of the films of Robert Rodriguez. That's what I am anarchistic. Thank you. Sam's Rock Friends, the elites that run Hollywood force everyone to make movies in Hollywood's images of those communities rather than letting them make their own movies. Hollywood elites are the ultimate imperialists. That's kind of where I'm coming from. Okay, let's go to some bad news. Some news I don't like to hear, but this is what Hollywood thinks of really how Hollywood rewards. One big example of how Hollywood rewards Latinos in the business. Okay, let's go at from the Los Angeles Times. Ay, Dios. Por Dios. Por Dios. Por Dios. Da, 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 da. Oh no, what? Bad news? Trust me, I'm used to it, man. We are used to it. Okay. Selena Writers says Netflix series disrespected the singer and the staff. This just dropped. This is by Yvonne Villarreal, staff writer. What was supposed to be Gladys Rodriguez's dream job began in early 2019. The TV writer, then 37, received a call about consulting on a new Netflix series focused on the life of Tejano pop star sensation Selena Quintanilla. Having a hand in retelling the story of a cherished Latino icon who achieved the American dream for the biggest streaming platform in the world, of course Rodriguez had to be a part of it. Anything for Selena, or so she thought. I should have seen these red flags from the beginning, says Rodriguez. Oh my God. Selena, the series follows the rise of a young Mexican-American singer from the Southwest who leaned on her roots and learned Spanish phonetically to sing Tejano music, achieving mainstream success that endured long past her untimely death in 1995. Yeah, well, she was murdered. She was killed. That is tragic. It's an intrinsically American story that seemed primed to join Netflix's roster of big-budget U.S. originals. Instead, it was ordered as a Latin American original with a modest budget to match, well under $2 million per episode, according to multiple sources, for a period drama with specific costume, makeup, and set needs. The Crown, by comparison, cost a reported $13 million per episode to launch. Wow. Whoa. So a little under 2 million compared to the 13 million of The Crown. Increíble. Increíble. The show sort of experienced what Selena experienced, says Henry Robles, who served as a co-executive producer of the series. From the beginning, she wanted to sing in English, but people didn't know what to do with her. The music industry didn't know how to categorize her, or they expected certain things from her because she was Mexican American. It's similar to the show. A spokesperson for Netflix told the Times that the Latin American originals team actively pursued the project and ordered Selena to series because of the singer's continuing popularity in Mexico. The Writers Guild of America states rules for minimum rates of writer compensation on streaming series based on episode length, episode budget, and the number of subscribers to the platform. Because Selena's budget fell below the Guild's then threshold of $2.5 million per episode for 1 hour high-budget series on platforms with more than 20 million subscribers, a category that includes much of Netflix's programming, different Writers Guild rules for minimum pay applied. This enabled the production to negotiate writers' pay lower than the high-budget minimum set by the Writers Guild. Multiple Selena staffers who did not want to discuss their pay publicly in absolute terms disclosed that they made between 30 and 50% per week less than working on the series, which was filmed in Mexico, than a typical equivalent roles on those produced in the U.S. Netflix, man, what the F? I don't get why there has to be disrespect towards Selena. Let's continue. A Netflix spokesperson said the company believes the writers were compensated fairly based on quotes negotiated by their U.S. representation. The pay was startling. The pay was especially startling, the writer said, given their demanding schedule, which took a page from the telenovela workflow. They were expected to complete the 2 seasons, totaling 18 episodes in roughly 20 weeks, a time frame more typical for turning around 8 to 10 episodes. The schedule was eventually extended by 4 months. That's because of the coup. Their love for Selena, the writer said, drove them to take the job despite the low wages. All expressed frustration that the disrespect that, let's say it again, but all expressed frustration at the disrespect. They say they had felt being underpaid and overworked for a series that quickly dominated Netflix's own top 10 charts in 23 countries following its December 2020 release. 23, they were number 1. Though Netflix does not disclose total viewership numbers, it says half of Selena's audience came from the US, where it spent its first week in the streamer's number 1 spot. Quote, we knew Selena the series would be a huge hit, so we were very saddened when we pitched it to several traditional networks in Hollywood and no one bought it. Jaime Davila, president, co-founder of Compañero Entertainment, which produced the series, said in a statement to The Times, when Netflix came into the picture, we were thrilled that the biggest global platform saw the potential of a series about a cultural icon whose reach transcends borders and cultures. Okay, really quick, guys. Remember, the official Netflix statement was that Selena was still popular just in Mexico. Mind frame. Mexican mind frame. This is how you are treated by the biggest platform. This is how you're paid by the biggest platform. You're not that big. You're just big in Mexico. She was just number 1 in the States. Bullshit. That television show was number 1 in 23 different countries at the same time. Number 1. I'm glad this is getting out because I'd heard about their treatment. Not only the writers, but the actors. So I'm very happy. I'm not happy what they went through, but I'm happy that this happened. Rodriguez, who was credited as co-executive producer on the series, says she feels like she has a bit of PTSD from the show. I feel like our work was cheapened from the start. We were never given a fair chance. Representation is what we want, but it goes beyond that. We want to be treated equally. What do you mean? Representation is not equality? This is what happens when you play the game in Hollywood and you're not going and doing your thing independently. And it's so hard for independent directors, productions to keep doing what they do and have a soul and have creative control and it can be something and can be proud of a product. You can't sustain that independently. Talk to director Kenneth Castillo. He cannot do it independently forever. Got 7 independent films. Danny Trejo. It's just so difficult. Here at the Latino Rant, Slant, Thunder Rant, maybe we'll become a production house. And with all your money, we will start producing shorts. I'm going to talk to Mexican Iron Man about it. Speaking of, for $5. 1, see my comment in stream above. 2, I'm fracking triggered by the pay scale. Yeah, it's pretty jacked up. But Polly, I don't. The Mexican people need less money because, we are Mexican. Unfracking nope. Please describe how soap opera film shoots are more grueling than TV movies. Well, that was just described right there because, the novella, they don't stop filming. They never stop filming. The schedule is completely grueling. The scripts and sets change every day. And you're looking at an order of 80 to 100 episodes for a one long story. So they wanted to try to cheapen that for this Selena thing. And that's in Latin America. So I think what they were thinking, Netflix, was that, well, we'll pay them Latin American prices, but we're going to get this. They don't get the Crown treatment. They get the Drown treatment. 13 million per episode for the Crown. A little under 2 million for Selena. And Selena's like the biggest hit of the year. Thank you for that. Yeah. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Don't believe the hype. Learn from it, though. Learn from it. Yep. Well, schedules are mad. Okay, let's go on. And then in all in the name of representation. You need to watch that shit, guys. Showrunner Moises Zamora calls experience a learning lesson. The fact we were able to get 14 Latino writers to take on this thing with all the challenges we face, my goal is to continue making the case that our stories are worth telling. Of course, Moises. That is not in question. Never in question. Everyone has a story. Everyone's story should be told. They deserve as much as any other production, he says. I'm really proud that we got to make an incredible show given what we were given. That's the showrunner telling you this. And that's you got to read in between the lines of what Homeboy said, right? Because it's a very politically correct statement. Moises, man, continued success, brother. Continued success. Let's go on. It's where you live or die. That apparent success of Selena, the series, hid such disappointment for a number of those who participated in its making is a poignant illustration of the obstacles Latino storytellers are facing getting their stories on screen. Yes. Today, Latinos comprise more than 18% of the U.S. population, despite the dramatic surge in the numbers of platforms and series account for only 8.7% of TV writers, according to the 2020 Writers Guild of America. And that's high now. It used to be lower. Making them the most underrepresented ethnic group across TV writing jobs in relation to their share of population. The Times spoke with more than a dozen Latino writers in television about their efforts in both their work and their activism to transform Hollywood's culture. Though the industry has awoken to the importance of diversity and inclusion in the recent years. Really? They're just now getting woke? In recent years. It remains notorious for stifling career growth for underrepresented groups in behind-the-scene roles, while retaining the power to broaden and shape public views of Latinos with the portrayals it allows on screen. And here's Steven Canals, co-creator of Pose, and Gloria Calderon, showrunner of One Day at a Time. That's who we saw. Wow. Rick Sanchez says, I'm down to start a production company, Pauly. I got time and ideas. Mayan Ninjas. Talk to Mexican Iron Man and let's talk. Vin Zinger, and I'm glad you're here, Vin Zinger. Well, in that case, Pauly, make the entertainment you and your entertainment company make crowdfunded entertainment. Yeah, I know, brother. Or sister. Sorry. This is trust and believe this is on the Slantino Nation's list of things to do. These are things that we do think about. And that's why it's like on this big glorious day where it should just be all beautiful, red, a great achievement. And it is a great achievement. In the Heights is a great achievement that we still, this story came out today, guys. And I've always said, you want the right representation, then Hollywood needs to hire those Latino writers and showrunners to get it right. So we're not souvenirs. So we're not just these stereotypes that you're so used to. Because there's all kinds of stories we got. And this is right down the Latino slants. This is our wheelhouse, guys. There you go. Reach Mexican Iron Man with scripts. ETC, executive producer stuff. There you go. Let's continue reading. This is disheartening. In a 2019 Pew Research Center study found that 50% of Hispanic adults said they've experienced discrimination or been treated unfairly because of their race or ethnicity. Across racial and ethnic groups, about 2/3 said it's because it's become more common for people to express racist views once Donald Trump became president. Oh, come on. Por favor. I cannot agree. That's a completely other stream we'll do. And for the writer to throw this in there, that's a cheap shot. Not every Latino is a victim or is treated unfairly. Come on. And I will dig on this Pew Research. You trust and believe. Latinos in Hollywood are what Vita showrunner Tanya Sriracha calls the fight to exist. The way Latinos are valued in America as a whole is how we're valued in Hollywood, the industry. How do we fix that? Can't say I disagree with that statement. We still, how we're valued. I don't know. I think there's it's just good old ignorance that people don't know the contributions of U.S. Latinos. That doesn't mean that they're racist. Doesn't mean that they're evil people. It's just they don't know. Hence, another thing that the Latino slant does. Yeah, Linda Yvette Chavez, co-creator of Netflix's Gentified, which I like, says it's incumbent on Hollywood to do the work. Just like the government has responsibility to the communities that has historically disenfranchised, it has disenfranchised Hollywood, an industry that has perpetuated such negative stereotypes and horrible depictions of us since very early in its inception, has a very true responsibility to create content by and for these communities, whether or not it performs by the numbers it creates a financial gain. Look at where she says it's restorative justice. I could not disagree with you more, Linda. But that's just me. You're saying historically Hollywood has perpetuated negative stereotypes. You can't say that 100%. I'm sorry, you can't. So for every negative stereotype that's a horrible depiction, I can show you one that's a beautiful depiction. We just did it yesterday. Stand and Deliver. I can argue with you Blood In, Blood Out. La Bamba. I can argue with you the social and political commentary of the comedy Born in East LA. Now In the Heights. So, when we make big sweeping generalizations, the story, man, you got to remember it's an LA Times story, and they love hearing stuff like this. I'm not going to read all of this. I'm going to read Times elaborated on the qualitative aspects of the problem and identifying several main themes. Casting conundrum. The black hole of development. The lower level diversity trap. U.S. Latino stories are seen as foreign. Yes. And we have a quote here from Edward James Olmos, says that when he has conversations with non-Latino Hollywood brass, there's a common misconception. Quote, they hear the word Latino and they think it's Spanish language. I can't tell you how many times people go, oh, is that program only for Spanish? I feel like we still face that problem when it comes to the audiences too. Those are the things that we're trying to still overcome in Hollywood. When they see us, we're still othered by our language and by our traditions. And that's Eddie almost saying that. Edward James almost saying that. That's, that's interesting. And here's some more showrunners. This is great. This is great. Half my job is explaining. The parody problem is so glaring that Saracho founded an all-Latina advocacy group called the Untitled Latinx Project, an effort to raise awareness, increase the number of Latinx projects in the community. We get strength. Okay. The group released an open letter to Hollywood the final day of October, which was the National Hispanic Heritage Month, featuring signatures from 276 Latino creatives, including Eva Longoria, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and John Leguizamo. The latter said Hollywood power brokers are complicit in our exclusion and laid out a list of demands, including a call to hire more Latinx directors, especially in decision-making roles like creator showrunners. No stories about us without us. Listen, this is a long article. I will put up the link to this article for you guys, but I feel it goes around. I feel it. Here, let me remove that. It's just circling around and saying it in different ways. And the reality is, you can write a letter. You can say this. You can say that. You can have your groups. But I truly believe you have to keep your independent guts. And if you are, and you're fighting the good fight within Hollywood, I commend you. I am weary of any tokenism of what you represent, whether it's a new Latinx tokenism. We have our Latinx feminist, progressive person here. Look, go talk to them. See, we hired them. You got to watch out for that. Also, too, when you're having talks about inclusion and diversity, but it's in a Writers Guild panel and only union people can go and see it, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there, because there's so many non-union Latino writers and directors that would love to be part of the discussion. So once again, I go back to the beginning of this rant. Latino Hollywood, you're upside down completely. Look to those people who are outside of the box, that are blazing their own trail, that are mavericks. Look to them, whether they're male or female, young or old, gay or straight, I don't care. Look at the career paths. Look at their work. Because at the end of the day, guys, it's all about the work, right? You can have advocacy, this, all the press behind this musical, but if the movie sucks, people are going to know. And we're used to this, right? As far as fandom, So take heed, Latino Hollywood. It is a great day today. And I do tip my hat to the filmmakers and stars of In the Heights. I will go pay and see it this weekend. I will have a review, you best believe. Um, but and let me also say this. We've interviewed and have had big names, insiders to independent people in the business. And if they were to go away tomorrow saying, I can't be on your show tomorrow, and I can't be on your show anymore, Paulie, we're still the slant. And I'd much rather you be part of this discussion than not, whether I agree with you or not. Because we have here an active fan base, memberships, subscribers, wonderful, beautiful people who are fans of your work. Keep your fans happy. If you get lost in the Hollywood shuffle of agenda and your social causes, and I probably agree with most of your social causes. That's the thing. I'm a pretty progressive man. But if you get caught up in that, your good heart will be misguided, used by Hollywood, and spit out the moment there's a new trend for them to make money off of. Because that is also what Hollywood is all about, making that money. Let's get to a couple of comments, and then we're going to make an announcement about membership streams. I hope you are loving today's show, our little surprise show. Glogo says, trying to fight against the beast from within the belly of the beast is one of the hardest things I could think of. Yeah. I do commend you guys for doing that. I don't care what shade anyone is. I never have. My parents have whooped me for that kind of crap. I'm so puzzled by the whole race thing. I know, Wookie. I know. Well, we're glad you're here, brother. Cold-blooded critic. Sounds like they're following the BLM formula, playing a victim. No bueno. Do it yourself. Buddy, that is a statement and a half. Bud boy, independent minds in the mainstream are rare things as they have to wear their dollar-shaped gags. We need more free-thinking filmmakers. The best films are produced when directors are free to create. Dave Bob, Hollywood is so myopic in so many ways. Some great comments, guys. Time to make our own money and stories. Let's do it, Rick. Contact Mexican Iron Man. Okay. Well, we've been on for over an hour, and that's about right. I'll probably take a break and maybe go on Midnight's Edge for a little while. But in all honesty, please go see In the Heights. Give it your money. That way, if you don't like it, you can do a video, be your own creator, give your opinion, and let people know what you think. It is a big deal for people striving for better stories in Latino Hollywood, in Hollywood. But let's keep them honest, right? And we'll try to do the same thing here on the Latino Slant. Okay, so this Tuesday night, actually, yes, I believe it is 6 p.m. Central Time Zone, 7 p.m. Pacific Eastern Time. Membership only live stream with the band The Consequentialist. It'll be a 1-hour concert and hang out with Eduardo from The Consequentialist. We play his music here. It is a private members only gift for all levels, memberships at all levels. So I thank you. We will have that stream created for you guys this weekend. That's that next Tuesday night. Tonight, Karaoke Geeks. No political talk, no craziness, just singing 80 songs with the members, and anyone else that wants to request can do a PayPal request. Now, speaking of PayPal, let's check the PayPal and make sure we didn't lose any super chats. Anyone else? Takes a minute here to refresh. Did we get another person? I think we did. Oh no, that's it. Okay, it was Mexican Iron Man. Okay, cool. Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. Thank you everyone for the super chats. ¿Qué más? Right here. Slantino Soldado, an excellent singer también. Yeah, well, if you want to come on. Fandom Menace en Español. Okay, next week we have booked for our regular Latino Slant on Wednesday nights. Cameron Pasha, TV producer and writer. Cameron Pasha will be back here on. I don't think he's done a live Latino Slant. I think it's always been pre-recorded. So that is going to be a good show next week. Please check out all the great content that we have on the channel. We will talk to you soon. I'm getting blown up by Mexican Iron Man. Let me see if there's anything he wants me to tell you guys. Latino Slant Studios. Ooh. Yeah, Cameron is the man. We'll see you tonight on the 80s karaoke. And everyone have a great weekend. Paz y delegas. Stay true, guys.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. The slant. The slant. All right, Paul, let's go.